Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you are new, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I think I've finally figured out a way to make Fantomex the way I want to use him, like my own unique deck that no one else is really running, and I'm running certain tech cards in this deck that no one else is using. And I finally think I got a build that I'm happy with, that I'm going to go for, because it makes so much sense on paper. It makes so much sense in my mind. It makes so much sense in the grand scheme of things, and I'll explain the process of like what the goal is behind this deck while we break down each card. So if you are new, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, especially if you like Fantomex. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and let's kind of get into the deck build. Alright, so the first card on this deck list is going to be Silver Sable, a card that I've been hunting for a minute, and I do think I'm going to get really soon. This is something that I really want to put into Fantomex, and I know it doesn't make a lot of sense for those looking at it on like the overview of things, like why is this in here? You're not bouncing it, you're not really utilizing its full potential, and that's kind of where you're wrong. Silver Sable is an easy one drop. When you drop her, she steals 2 power from your opponent's deck, top card of the deck. This is utilizing, in a way, Affliction. And you might be thinking, okay, well, she's a 1-2. Whoop-de-doo. What is your goal to make her worth it? Because 1-2 drop isn't worth it. And you're right, it isn't. But if you kill her off and use Morgan Le Fay to bring her back, she then becomes a 1-5. And then whenever you replay her, she becomes a 1-7. So she went from a 1-2 to a 1-7 in Fantomex by utilizing Morgan Le Fay, which I'm surprised no one else has really thought about. She's also taking away 4 power from your opponent's deck total, which is kind of nice for an Affliction style deck, though technically it's Steel. So yes, Silver Sable will be my unique choice of card in this deck as something that's unique to my Fantomex deck, because I think this would be fantastic with a pairing with Morgan Le Fay, Diamondback, Fantomex, because you're making your opponent smaller, getting bigger, and utilizing your bounce with Morgan Le Fay to bring her back to your hand and play her relatively cheap, a 1 cost, which is really cheap. Nico Minoru. No secret here. She's a great card, has a lot of good tech, and you can use most of this tech with Fantomex. You can use, well, 2 to be exact with you. You can use this one to copy a Lin Lie to your hand, or a Fantomex if you feel like you can play a second one with the right amount of cost, or a second Marrow to go even more Affliction with it. So this has a lot of value here. You can also play this to counter out any bad fields that may just counter your deck completely. And then also you have the most valuable one in my opinion, which is the after you play your next card, destroy it, draw 2. This pairs really well with Marrow or Carnage, whichever or whatever it is you're using to destroy. Because technically speaking, you just need 1 destroy to activate Fantomex's passive, but it has to be something on your board, just like your discard. You have to discard and you have to destroy something of your own. So you're hurting yourself to get yourself ahead, essentially. So Nico is also a really cheap placement, and because of this, she just kind of fits into this deck really nicely. You can sit there a couple turns, wait for the proper spell to come around, and really utilize that synergy with your deck to push yourself further ahead. I do think the draw one is the best situation for almost every time, unless you have all your key pieces already in your hand. Therefore, you have more options to go with the cloning or with the field changing. It's really up to you then what you do. But I do think the Destroy Draw 2 is the strongest ability that she has, because you're trying to get to your key cards, which are Fantomex, Black Cat, or Gambit, and a Destroy card, which is feasible with Nico being in your deck. You'll be able to get through your whole deck because of that Draw 2. So this is an obvious staple of the deck, and it works really well with that deck because there's multiple spells that you can utilize depending on the situation. Black Cats. I know most players probably prefer using Blade, but I don't. I actually prefer using Black Cat because it takes 1 cost placement it just takes the cost placement away. I don't have to play her turn 1, or I can play her turn 1 if I had a Gambit in my hand. I could play her turn 1 or, throw her away and let her discard herself. It's the flavor option that I like. Most times I just let her discard herself so I don't have to think about discarding. By the end of the game, it already happens. So Black Cat's just an easy slot in over Blade, in my opinion. Blade is really good. I'm not saying that, but he's also a situational pick where you have to have the right target in your hand you want to discard. And Since I'm not really confident with my luck of the draw, even with Morgan Lee Fey in the deck and you can bring your card back, I'm just not comfortable doing that myself. So I prefer Black Cat just doing the work for me. I don't have to think about it. She does it for me. And also, she's just really peak. Look at her. Peak. Lin Lie Iron Fist. The easiest and most unobvious card of the deck. I'm like really impressed with the Snap community, even coming up with this tactic to begin with Morgan Lee Fey. It's genius actually because this is just a better Wild Child essentially. Like Wild Child being a 2/9 is nice, but why be a 2/9 when you could be a 2/13? Math is math, and if you're bigger and easier to use, and you don't have to really have to think. Well, easier to use is, you know, you do have to use Morgan Lee Fey for this to work, but he is cooler, easily cooler, and we like our Iron Fist. He's dope. You could use Wild Child. You could use Iron Fist along with him. But I just prefer to go with the Lin Lie Iron Fist because I just think it looks cooler on, and especially with certain like locations where you can multiply him a bunch of times for free. He's goated. He is goated. So that's why he's in here. Nothing yells perfect synergy like a card that afflicts your opponent with -7 by being discarded and or destroyed. It's just amazing. Now, technically speaking, she is a 2/3. But when you destroy her or discard her, she's just a 7 power thing, afflicting things. So she's lovely. I think this is a really well-balanced card. I think the way they made Marrow is really smart. I don't think she just fits in the deck so nicely because you have options. Either you can discard her or destroy her, and she benefits your field doing the same affliction that she would be either way. So this card is just the easy staple, probably never going to leave this deck ever, and I'm okay with it because I really like this card. This art is also peak, and I wish I could get it inked. So, Marrow. She's a staple, essentially. Diamondback. This one's another flavor pick of mine that makes it special to my decks. Silver Sable and Diamondback would be the two that I would say are most, uniquely used by me exclusively. Not many other players that I know of even use Diamondback, let alone Silver Sable in a Fantomex deck. And the reason why I use this card so much and why I like her so much in Fantomex because Marrow makes this deck a little bit more consistent with her affliction. Now, her being a 3/3 and only potentially getting up to a 7/3/7 isn't the best look. However, there are a lot of cases where she gets a lot higher than that because Marrow just decides to hit everything on the board in that certain situation or in that certain location, and then this just becomes that much better. I like her as a unique pick for myself too, just because it's different than what other players are doing, and because of that, it yells, "Hey, that's a volume card," and you know what? I like that. Gambits. Why wouldn't you run a Gambit in a Fantomex deck? He discards and activates half Fantomex's passive, and then the other half, well, you have to figure out yourself, but he also takes away power from your opponent by destroying something random. He is the most inconsistent card when it comes to accuracy, but when he works really nicely, and I will never not use Gambit in my Fantomex deck. I just think he's an easy last turn of the game placement card just for a YOLO snipe, and if it pays off, then you're big chillin'. If it doesn't pay off, usually you're okay anyway, and you just remove power from their board unless he, removes the one thing that you don't want him to remove, like the biggest affliction thing possible on the board. Then you're like, Gambit, you threw, buddy. You threw. But for the most part, he's 70% awesome. 30% gonna int your game, and what can I say? If you're not playing Gambit and Fantomex, you're really not gambling, are you? We are Venom. Venom. What can I say? He eats Iron Fist and his sword. Big chillin'. Just do one better. Eats Silver Sable, eats Iron Fist, and the sword of Iron Fist, and doing better. Big boy. Biggin. One of the biggest creatures in this deck, or cards in this deck, depending on you play him. He's just a consistent destroy, gets really big, and I like Venom. There are some flaws of having Venom, but that's okay. We'll get to the cover of that when we get to the cover. But for the most part, as a 3 placement, Venom is big chillin', and he likes eating things and getting pretty decent size, and also activating Fantomex's Destroy, part of the passive. So an easy 3 cost placement in the deck for sure. Morgan Le Fay, just a very, very, very good card in this one situational deck. She was waiting and waiting and waiting and finally found a home. Fantomex. Now, she's a little harder to use. You need to make sure if you use her that you understand when you're playing her. And essentially, as long as you play her before turn 6, that way you're able to play things on turn 6 from your hand to utilize her fully, you will be okay. So the rules of Fantomex: play Fantomex down by turn 4 or 5, preferably 4, and then play Morgan Le Fay before turn 6. As long as you've destroyed Sable and Iron Fist, you're pretty much good to play your Morgan Le Fay. Anytime after that. There you go. A perfect staple. Luna Snow. There's no plan as good as having a backup plan of a backup plan. If you're unable to destroy your stuff on a reasonable time before your turn 6, Luna Snow's always there to get your back. As long as you play her down early enough, that way she can actually cycle her turn and destroy her Ice Cube. It makes a good target as well for an Affliction, especially in the front row where it's just a 0 power. I know you're feeling your opponent energy, but like when you have no other plan, sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is take the extra energy and take the free destroy. And as for 3/6, I'm willing to take that gamble every time. I think this card is a perfect fit for not only just getting energy, but having a backup of a backup of a backup destroy plan. Nothing wrong with that. Easy to fill up your spots. Boom. Easy to use. Let us know. When your destroy is not destroying, force it with Luna Snow. Whether you argue it or not, Fantomex is a very hard card to like rate. He's either a 419 because you afflict everyone on their board with -2 and you know he looks really good, or they play very, very slow and you know keep things hidden from you. Normally, in any situation, building a card or building a deck around a card is risky. And the risk with Fantomex is that if you don't build enough around him, you lose because you can't activate him. And that's his biggest flaw, being an activate card. However, it's his biggest strength because it gives you the power to control when you activate him. That being said, the whole deck is built around this guy. He's the key piece. He's your holy grail. If you get him in your hand before turn 5 and you have him down the field, you know, before that last turn, so you can actually press the activate button and be good to go with all of his restrictions, you're probably comfortable of snapping. You probably have everything you need and the game is going in your way. And because of this, he's him. Unique, oddly powerful, but yet underrated. We love Fantomex. Lady Deathstrike. She's your tech pick. I know, she's an awkward tech pick. You might be thinking, why don't you just use something a little bit more easier to use? Why are we using this? Let me explain. As someone that plays a lot, and I mean a lot of Fantomex, the counters, they're not exactly big bodies. Her specialty. Size matters. And in this case, it actually matters. Your counters with Fantomex. Let's talk about them. Wong. She just one-shots it. Removes whatever it is off the field. Removing that key piece for our players is huge for you. Luke Cage. The one counter that actually counters your reflection. She removes it. Iron Man. Why let them outscale you? She can just remove that and then, guess what? One of their key pieces, destroyed. Out of all those things I just mentioned, ongoing is popular. Luke Cage could be popular in the short future. He's just hit or miss depending on like the player. And Wong. You know players love playing Wong for no reason because they think it's an easy win. So why would we give it to them? Gambit's inconsistent with accuracy. She isn't. She has a very simple goal. Size matters. And if you don't reach those goals, she takes it out. She's a very hands-on person. Gotta respect it. That's why she's here in this deck. She's a tech pick. I could have went Rogue. Could have went Cosmo. But why not have an extra destroy in my pocket to control the board a bit more and also proc destroy if I really need it? Makes sense to me. Now you could go Rogue. Rogue is peak. Just know Rogue has her flaws. She can only hit one thing, and also if they destroy her, well, unfortunate. At least she's got a big body over here, and she can control her angle or her own location with Fantomex really nicely. So size matters. Ladies Deathstrike. We appreciate her. There you guys go. That's the deck. That's my deck. This is my deck. And I'm proud to say that I think I probably got the most unique, most synergistic, most awkward deck in the world. Or going to whenever I get Silver Sage and Morgan Le Fay, which I'm going to get them. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below of this deck. Do you like my little flavor picks? Do you like Silver Sable in this deck? Do you like Diamondback in this deck? I know Diamondback's probably like replaceable of like Wild Child, but like I like this deck. I think this deck yells nearly perfect. It yells as good as Fantomex is going to get. There's not many different things you can do to make this guy as good as you can with this style of play. Now, there are, of course, flaws in every deck. This one has a few. Draw power is really reliant on Nico. If you pop Nico, you're getting through your whole deck. And then it's all about order and like where you're placing your cards what turn. And if everything goes to plan, your board's going to look very powerful and it's going to be hard to fight. And even with everything that can get tossed at you with counters, you're relatively in a decent spot for the most part. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And this is my Fantomex deck. And I don't know if there's going to be many changes after I get these last two cards. I will probably find a way to replace Iron Fist eventually. Or Diamondback eventually. Maybe. I don't really want to because those are like my flavor picks. Well, Diamondback is and Silver Sable is. But there's only so many things you can do to make the deck unique to you. And this one really yells unique. It's a unique deck. And hopefully it's the one that, people looking like, damn. I just saw his Silver Sable go from a 1-2 to a 1-7. What the crap is that? I like this deck. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.